there was a point where you actually had to create new tactics and to become more silent. And you talked about how you guys would compete to see how many Al-Qaeda fighters you could touch while they were sleeping. So what, you would find a camp of sleeping Al-Qaedas?
Well, not even a camp, but like houses that they lived in.
Huh.
Because we learned early on, once the guns, the bullets started flying both ways, we literally changed everything that we were doing, because you get clipped with one of these, your day's over. So we got to stop doing the old stuff that worked in the jungle for the Vietnam guys. Now we're fighting in the mountains, we're fighting in the desert. And Al-Qaeda had been studying us, and they knew one of our tactics was, if we get to, because we used to fly our helicopters right to, we call it the X. And if there's an open door, you just run through the open door. I'm like wide open. And that was our, well, it's already open, run. They knew that. So they would keep the doors open, and they would have machine guns inside the room. And like Delta got hit really hard in the summer of 06, 07. So we all, they just were there. And then as a complete unit like Joint Special Operations Command, we had to change all the tactics. Like, why are we landing on the X? Why are we yelling? Why aren't we going quiet? Don't talk. So we actually learned through like effective communication, the less we talk, the better we are. So stop yelling. Like if you ever see a movie and people start yelling, go, go, go. It's like, dude, we're gonna go, shut up. So we would sneak in, and it's called counting coup. And it's an old Native American warrior thing where if you can go touch the enemy and their horse and leave and prove to the enemy you've been touched, they didn't do anything to you. That's what the Native Americans used to. And so our squadron was Red Squadron. And so our, I don't like the word mascot, our warrior was, we call him the Red Man. And so we took guys like Chief Geronimo, Chief Crazy Horse. We want to take their energy with us to war. So we started doing the counting coup like they would do. So we would go into houses, and we would sneak in. We'd walk for a couple hours, sneak in. We found really quiet ways to break windows, like silent ways to break windows and creep in that way. And then you walk up on these sleeping dudes. And the first thing you want to do when you're dealing with Al-Qaeda or ISIS or Islamic Jihad or Hamas or Hezbollah, the first thing you got to do is check them for a suicide vest. So you walk in there and you literally run your hand down their entire body if you can feel anything. And if there's nothing on there, you wake him up by putting your finger on his mouth and you just go, shh, 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 shh. And then he wakes up. Here's America's worst enemy. Wake up, screams, shits his pants, and that's one for me. If he has a suicide vest, no problem.
Okay. Were you killing these guys?
If they have a vest on, yes. If they didn't have a vest, no, we'd take them back and interrogate them.
Okay. How many people did you kill in their sleep?
In their sleep? I have never killed anyone in their sleep. I would honest to God, other than a suicide vest, but I never did run into that myself.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that because I'm like not being a tough guy. I'm also not going to cheat. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Plus, I'd almost rather interrogate you than just shoot you.
Right. You were actually doing interrogations at one point.
Yeah, I did a lot. I was a battlefield interrogator for a long time. I did hundreds.
Okay. Now, overseas, do the rules when it comes to torture really apply and so forth?
Torture does not work.
It doesn't work?
Torture does not work because
historically it's worked pretty well.
No, because
it'll work on me.
If you're
you
getting
torture me, I'll tell you whatever you want.
You're going to tell you anything you think they want to hear.
Okay.
But now, waterboarding works. That's not torture. It's way different.
Waterboarding seems like it's torture.
No, waterboarding
You feel like you're drowning. How is that not torture?
You feel like it's drowning, but it's more of just an inconvenience because if you decide to tell them the truth, they just stop it and you walk away from it. You're fine. Torture is when you take out a power drill, start hitting kneecaps and shins. That's torture. When you start cutting shit off. I don't even want to get into what torture is. I've seen some bad stuff that I don't want people to even know, that I've seen them do to their own people. I don't torture. The way that you interrogate, honestly, is you catch them in two ways that we would always get our stuff. Catch them in a lie, and that's so here's, let's say for example, we go into a house, take the house down, no shots fired, we got 5 dudes. And usually, so you got 5 dudes, and it's like the rules of 3 after that. 5 dudes, that means 15 women and 45 kids, right? So you separate the women and the kids, they're fine. Watch out for the women sometimes because they can be shady. So and we would have like what's called cultural sensitivity teams, which are our women to deal with their women. I disagree with that at first, but once I learned the actual culture and we are in their country, do that. And then what you do with the 5 dudes is very simple. You separate them in a different room so they can't hear each other. You bring in your interpreter. And the way that you do it is you make your interpreter stand behind the guy you're talking to. So I'm looking at him, my interpreter's behind him because I don't want them talking to each other. I will talk to him, you answer him, he tells me what you said. And it's as simple as this. How many men are in the house? Who's the man of the house? What are the names? 3 of the guys will tell you exactly, there's 5 guys, here's their names. 2 of the guys won't know, there's your bad guys. Simple. So now you got them, separate them, you're gonna be taking a ride. We're gonna bring you back to the big interrogation, but the first thing you do now, find the oldest child in the house, okay? The oldest male child. And you pull him aside and you kind of brush him off and like, hey, ask him something so simple and he'll answer like, thank God, finally a man of the house. Build him up. Who are these 2 assholes over here? It's like, I don't know, they just came in from Saudi Arabia, blah, 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 blah. Thanks, buddy. Seriously, that's how you do it. Torture doesn't work.
I would still disagree with you. I think torture,
you're going to talk, but
I think torture still works.
Yeah, but if you're getting,
I mean, if you look at throughout history,
if you're getting
the number of, you know, kingdoms and countries that have tortured people, you know, it's been around since the beginning of time.
They're going to admit anything. That's why they burnt witches at the stake, because they finally admit you're a witch as they're skinning you alive. Once you admit it, then they burn you. It's like you're going to tell them what you want to make this stop, then they're going to kill you. The torture is a bad idea.
Yeah, I remember I interviewed Tony Yayo, and he was saying how in Queens, if you were snitching, they would throw you in a basement filled with rats with peanut butter all over your legs.
Yeah. They're not trying to get information. They're just torturing you.
They make you eat a shit sandwich, like that type of stuff.
The way that torture will work is if someone that you want to tell you stuff, you make them watch you torture someone else, then they'll talk.
Okay.
But if someone getting tortured, like if you're a flat earther and I start skinning you, you're gonna, okay, the world's round, done. Because I have to get this to stop.
Well, but isn't there a specific piece of information that you need to get out of that person? If they finally give it to you, then the torture will stop?
I mean, maybe. I mean, look, I'm not trying to say there's a one-stop shop. I'm just saying catching someone on a lie worked for us a lot better.
Well, you had a situation where you killed a man who was in bed with his wife.
Yeah, yes, that was one of the situations too, because we had come in soft. It was a big McMansion in Iraq. I think I might have been in Ramadi. And we entered silently. I immediately ran into a guy that was armed. I killed him. Then I did a one-man entry into a bedroom, which you shouldn't do, but war as hell. I'm in there by myself, and a guy was in bed with his wife, asleep. And I want to wake him up. I did, and he started kicking at me. And I'm like, that's fine. I just woke you up. I have a green face. It's 3 a.m. You're terrified. He kicked again. I'm like, all right, you got to knock that off. Now he's got an AK over here, and he looked at it, and I looked at this guy and I go, don't do that. Don't. And he reached down for it, and I killed him.
Okay. Was that your first kill?
Oh, no.
How many kills have you done at that point?
I don't know. My first kill, I think, was in Iraq in 06. No, 05? 06.
What was that situation about?
We ended up hitting a major Al-Qaeda target in Ramadi again. It was a joint op with SEAL Team 6, Delta Force, and the Special Air Service. And then I had one guy from the Special Boat Service, which is the 2 premier British, UK national mission forces. They're tier 1 units. And like we inserted by walking, Delta and SAS flew in. So it just started this hornet's nest. And that was one of the first times we were using the tactics of being quiet, because when we went in the first house, there was like 5 of us in a hallway, long hallway, dark, but we weren't talking, weren't shining white lights. And a dude at the front, at the end of our hallway, came out with an AK. He looked down and couldn't see any of us. And we're all standing there. He could have greased all of us, but he didn't see us because we're being quiet and we're on night vision. He went back in, and then we assaulted. Then me and another guy went out when a major gunfight started outside, and we just started doing our tactics. We both got our first kills at the same time. Actually, the guy next to me was the sniper that initiated the fire to rescue Captain Richard Phillips later.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
I'm just saying that. So that's like we're all now getting kills together. So this is before a lot of guys got kills. Now we're all getting.
Did your initial kill bother you at all?
No, it was fast. It was just. It was almost at a point of competition. Like, I know guys that have kills. I don't have one yet. I need to get one to get in the club. And I blasted this dude. And I was like, well, I guess I'm in the club. No, he was trying to maneuver on us. So it didn't
okay. I mean, you could justify every kill as self-defense. If I don't do it to them, they'll do it to me. So was there any level of, did you ever have a nightmare? Did you ever have any regret? Or was it like, hey, listen, it's war. They're trying to kill me. I'm killing them. Life goes on.
The regret is, and the older you get, what you realize is the only reason I killed this guy is because he went for a gun. Why did he go for a gun? Well, because I'm in his room at 3 a.m. Why am I in his room? Well, because these politicians decided this. And then your mind starts to wander like, we were born on different sides of the planet. That's why we're fighting. That's it. We don't know each other. So then your mind starts getting creative like, well, now what if I met him somewhere else? What if he and I met at a cafe in Europe and had coffee? Does this guy know like some good jokes? Would he tell me stories about his dad? That's what starts to mess with you. It's like, did we need to be there doing this? That's why I get pissed about Iraq.